If you're ever thinking about lowering your motorcycle, you better not. These are literally the worst mods you can do to any motorcycle, even if you're simply tiptoeing and can't fully seat your feet on the ground. Don't worry, we are not falling, but here are the cons of lowering a motorcycle. These are motorcycle lowering link switches, an essential mod for lowering the ride height of a sport bike. If you ever thought about lowering a motorcycle, you might not want to. While the immediate result may seem good as you can now maybe flat foot the bike, the cons start to slowly outweigh those results relatively fast, especially if you're riding anywhere else other than a straight highway. But now let's get into how these aftermarket suspension links actually work, as they tend to be a tad bit longer than the original suspension links found on the bike. These basically move your connection point for the rear shock and the swing arm, known as a dog bone, a little bit further back, ultimately resulting in a lower rear end on your motorcycle. But it totally disrupts the factory steering geometry your bike has, making it turn in a tad bit slower and slightly harder to lean, which in simpler terms can take the bike from turning like a super bike that it literally is to a tank in the corners. As if you actually ride the bike, that's just too much of a sacrifice to pay for. Yeah, it may feel good while you're sitting at a stoplight, but the moment you take off, you'll feel everything. But if you're strictly roll racing and the only leaning you'll be doing is resting the bike on the kickstand, throw some balls. Now, this bike had these lowering links on it when I picked it up, and I took them off almost immediately, which resulted in me tiptoeing like I do on most modern day leader bike, but this thing now corners like it's supposed to.